Hi guys, how are you today? So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about what everyone's talking about now on Twitter, which is uh, Nene Leakes had to close another store today, and but she didn't tell the employees. Oh, Nene! Rumor is that she's broke. I hope this is not true, but it's going all around on Twitter. Then we're going to talk about the secret that Lisa Barlow refuses to tell the rest of the cast in regards to Mary and Cameron. It's a doozy, people. It's a doozy. So let me go ahead, allow more people in the room as I play my intro, and then we'll get right into it. Hi guys, how are you? Hey Perry.
What's up?
April to be real.
Hey Gabor.
Whoa.
Are you singing?
What's good? I didn't know we was already in yet.
All right, we got a lot to talk about, so I'm getting right into it. If you haven't already signed up for Perry's hotline, don't forget to do that. It's area code 702-553-3288. Both of these stories are sad to me today.
Mhm.
Let's start with Nene.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't like Nene.
Oh, Nene.
Say what you want about her. For me, why talk about her anymore? She's not on the show. It's over. But she's was a popular person on the show, so people are going to talk about her. It's going around today on Twitter that Nene had to close another store. And tell me if I got this right, Gabor. But didn't tell the employees, so they showed up.
That's what it said on Twitter.
And the store was closed. This is not the first time we've heard about Nene having money problems. I hope it's not true. But it's just coming up too many times. She already admitted to closing 3 stores because she said because of COVID and things like that.
What?
Yeah. Because of
Oh,
COVID.
Nene.
Yeah, poor. It's really bad because I just say what you want. I like Nene. We know that she was trying to move and is not being able to sell her house, so she dropped the price on that. It's just sad. According to the rumors, this is why she's trying to get back on. She was trying to get back on the show because it's a money thing, and now this. Gabor, do you believe it?
I mean, it just sounds like Nene. You know, her pride wouldn't let her tell the people that it was closing, so they probably just showed up to work and I also seen that they weren't getting paid. That's what they were saying on Twitter. Look, that's what I said on Twitter. The people was waiting on their checks.
They're saying that they weren't getting paid either.
No, that they was waiting on their check. They was waiting to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
crazy,
is. I mean, I hope it's not true, but that combined with the other things we heard, I don't know. People don't like Nene. They say it's karma. I just don't want to see her catching it like this without Greg. I think she's trying to find another job. She guest host today on what was it, Perry?
The
The talk. I hope she gets
With Sharrell,
another.
with Sharrell them, right?
Yeah.
With Sharrell under with them.
Yeah.
So I mean, why wouldn't she? Okay, no, it may be too soon. Too soon.
It's just.
Would she get some money from insurance though? I mean, wouldn't she be able to get some?
Yeah, but you know what? I think
it depends on the policy.
Yeah, but I think sometimes when you live a certain lifestyle and you gather so many bills because you assuming next year be better.
No,
If
Perry,
anything,
I
not
don't
what-
see Greg leaving her like that. Greg loved Nene. He would not go do his transition without making sure she was okay.
But baby, Greg had
Right?
an orphanage of kids though. Greg had a lot of kids though.
He did
Okay,
have
and
a
this is
lot
what
of
I'll say
kids.
too, though. Okay, I get that part, but it's not like Greg had this problem 20 years ago. Okay, so the debt that you acquire over that time, even though you're looking at it, house payments and stuff, That's not something you pay off in 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think thinking insurance money and all that stuff, will cover stuff and all that. It's just sad medical bills. There's a lot of the factors in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, because I love meeting and I wish for the best. And I understand when people say karma and stuff. I mean, we all made mistakes in life and did things we probably shouldn't have did. Okay. But I just wish her the best. But it do sound like when people start making certain moves, certain chain of events start going on, it goes down to make you think it's a financial issue.
Okay. I knew when I seen her crying in the hotel lobby for her job back when she was over there with Cameron Hall that she was broke or losing her money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've been saying this for a while, Gabor. You've been saying
because she was the rich bitch. She was the rich bitch. Remember, she was the rich bitch, and she was cashing Trump checks.
Mm-hmm.
Greg probably had a lot of medical costs. I agree. I just hope this is not true, but why would somebody make this up?
Yeah, and if it's true, when people start closing down things, they don't just close them down just because they're tired of showing up.
Yeah.
It's either that place is not profitable no more.
Yeah.
Things like that.
This is awful.
Was people shopping there? How was the sales? Do y'all know anybody that ever?
Well, she admitted that her sales were low in all her stores. That's when she began closing them. Let me see if I can find this article to tell
nobody
you.
Calls it. I mean, nobody. I mean, I wouldn't particularly want to wear nothing from somebody called Swag Boutique.
Gabor.
No, I'm just saying that's a name. You Nene Leakes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna come up with a show called Swag Boutique.
It's so.
How about Lanithia by Nene? That would have been good. Swag Boutique.
Swag.
Yeah, I mean, I see what Gabor is saying. Like, if you get that name brand, you get to put that on everything.
This was a while back when they said that she started closing stores in where was it? Oh, this is the wrong article. She had a lot of stores that she began closing, allegedly from the pandemic and things like that. So she was having money problems. I just don't see Greg going out like that. I'm sure there was an insurance policy, right, Perry? You wouldn't leave me like that.
I'm saying I understand the insurance policy, but also outside the insurance policy, you factor in what are my businesses making, and then you assume.
But the lounge I hear is doing good.
Right, I get that part. Yeah, but one part can be doing good, and the other thing's suffering. Lanithia Lounge can make as much as they want to make, but if the other ones is underwater,
and she got to take the money from the lounge, and then she's gonna have to take the money from the lounge and keep them businesses afloat.
Right.
Well, anyway, I'll keep my eye on the situation. It's very sad. I'm trying not to do a long video today because I've got a lot to do, but I have to tell this Mary Cosby story. Okay, so if you watch last night's episode, you'll know that there was a guy on the previous episode that came and warned Meredith to be careful of Mary. He was an ex-member of the church and he's supposed to be good friends with Lisa Barlow. When the other women tried to ask Lisa, do you know anything about this? You could tell that she did, and she didn't want to talk. Okay, let me tell you what the secret is. Okay, so allegedly he was a pastor at her church. Allegedly they had an affair. This man is married with children.
Well, that's not hard to believe. She slept with her grandmama's man. So
Gabor.
I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
But she did spit out really quickly that, she made him take a second mortgage out on his home and give him the $300,000. Okay, that is true, according to what I'm hearing. Okay, so the rumors are a long time ago, Mary, Robert, and Lois got with this. Mary and Robert got with this lady named Lois who used to run the a bank called United Security. Okay, they just didn't take over one person's mortgage. They took over a lot of people's mortgages. Okay, and then have them forfeit over the money. You would say that sounds crazy. I'm not going to forfeit my money over to nobody. You will if you're in an alleged cult. Okay, and you don't think for yourself. Now, don't forget, the rumors are she has everybody call her God.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. She has everybody call her God. And so they were running a mortgage scheme on a lot of people, not just Cameron. Okay, so Cameron's complaint wasn't just made about him, it was made about everybody that fell victim to them. But not only that, Cameron alleged was having an affair with Mary. And I don't know if you guys put two and two together. Mary practically said, if it wasn't for our child, I wouldn't be with him. And she always acts like Robert Sr. turns her stomach.
There was a pawpaw at one point.
I know, but he's supposed to be her husband now, and she doesn't look at him like a husband. And she was talking one time on the show about finding someone to share the rest of her life with and stuff like that. And according to the rumors, she's still with him because of this racket they got going. And Robert has enough information on Mary to destroy her. This is crazy stuff, by the way. Crazy stuff. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No.
That's going on. The rumors are true that without a doubt, Mary runs a cult, allegedly. But anyway, so what she doesn't want out there is that there's this alleged affair and that she runs a cult. She doesn't want that out there. And she really doesn't want anyone questioning about Cameron. Okay, so people started talking about Cameron on the internet and saying whether they believed it or not. Then Mary comes out and calls Cameron slow. And Lisa Barley has to come to his defense. Now, don't forget, he passed away back in July. Okay, so Lisa comes out and says, Cameron was not impaired at all. This is disgusting. And Mary says, yes, he was, Lisa. You better stop with your lies. You know he was. According to the rumors, Mary is lying and trying to smear Cameron's name because she had an affair with this man. And yes, he was a victim of taking out another mortgage on his loan and then handing the money over to Mary. This girl is crooked, and I don't think she's going to be able to cover up these lies anymore. I think Lisa Barlow knows what's going on. Cameron told her before he passed suddenly, and she just doesn't want to put that kind of spotlight on him, because if we talk about the bad, eventually you're going to have to talk about this alleged affair. This is a
But
mess, people. Would you tell it if you were Lisa that he had an affair with Mary, or that not your place? The man is gone. Do you keep the secret?
Well, I mean, do Lisa actually know it was actually an affair, or is it just a rumor from maybe she could have heard it, but not? Maybe she's thinking she's not 100% sure that it's factual. Maybe.
Well, let me just ask you: if something happened to Gabor and that's your boy, and you knew he was having an affair, would you go ahead and, since he's gone, tell everybody?
Well, yeah.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, I see your point. I mean, because sometimes I keep thinking Cameron's alive and she don't want to burn that bridge. But if it's over, maybe.
What would you do, Gabor?
I don't know. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say, though. Okay, say if before Cameron passed, he had told her this. She's not 100% factual that it's true.
So that's why she's hanging on to it.
Maybe that's why she's not saying anything. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But the reason why Mary, in my opinion, treat Robert the way she do, she sets him up as a grandfather to lock into the cash. Now she want to be the young freak that she is, right? And that she's treating him like a grandfather by keeping him in the back room. That's what I think.
Well, they've got so much dirt on these people. It's not even funny. They're still going through probate right now. The family's still fighting over the original money with Mama. So, because they are saying that Mary made a deal with her mother, gave her mother a lump sum, but left the rest of the siblings out. That's still a live court case today. Why would Mary Cosby come on TV and she has all these skeletons? the first thing people do when you come on TV is start being nosy and digging into your background. If you're having an affair with somebody, it's going to come out. And I'm going to take it a little further. I'm thinking Bravo will set your ass up. Maybe Bravo knows, and they're just slowly unfolding the plot. Oh, Lisa knows the secret. There's a secret. And they're letting Mary just they're leading her into the trap. The same way they led Jen Shaw into the trap. Jen Shaw said that some stranger called her on the phone, and then she said that her husband had some internal bleeding. You heard all this. And we all know these are lies, Jen. The rumors is it was Sharrell that tipped you off. You can't keep lying. What are you going to say when people find out that Sharrell doesn't have any internal bleeding? She kept with the lie this week. That lie is only going to last long, especially now. A couple days ago, remember her ace boom, Stuart Smith, turned on her. Remember, we had Ronald Richard on the show and basically pled guilty. You got Jen Shaw saying, no, I'm innocent. And then Stuart came out and said, no, not only are you not innocent, I'm pleading guilty so I can have a lesser sentence. Jen Shaw is going to lie to her grave. She strikes me to be one of those kind of people. So when you come on TV and you have skeletons and they come out the closet, even with Mia on Potomac, when she was a stripper, she said she was an entertainer. People aren't going to like you or even feel any compassion towards you unless you tell the truth.
Right.
Mary Cosby is digging the biggest hole for herself that she's not going to be able to get out of. And don't forget, last season, before the season even aired, I had people contacting me. And remember, I had 6 hours of tape of her preaching where she calls herself God. It's a cult.
Right.
Now, if they hand it over to a blogger, you know damn well they've handed that information over to Bravo.
And you remember she was mad last season about I think it was the story you reported, or I forgot if it was on the show or not. But she was upset because she said that the people didn't give her. She didn't like their Christmas gifts or their birthday gifts, and they was cheap or something.
Yeah. I feel for Nene right now. She came into my place of employment the other day and was super sweet. Although I didn't talk to her. Mary's a trip, though.
Yeah, but to answer the question about Mary, I mean, because you'll go and say, well, why would she go on Bravo, right?
Why would she go on national television?
Why would she go on television when she knows she got skeletons in her closet? She knew she had skeletons in the closet when she was allegedly running what seemed like to be a cult, right? And I would just say seem like it, okay? If that's what it is, a person, when they can keep this leadership and keep financial means coming in and everybody's overlooking their issue, they feel like they're above it and other people wouldn't see it. So if everything's going perfect in the cult world, or allegedly that's what it is, I can go to Bravo because I'm looking for the fame.
Also, I forgot this part. Mary has a record. Remember, we were told that last year when we were talking to people. She's not going to be able to hide this stuff in a minute.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying, though. But she had a lot of skeletons while she was running the alleged cult, and people kept coming forth and giving up dividends. You know what I'm saying? So a person like that, after a while, started to feel like they're above all that. Like they're unstoppable.
I think Mary might think she's God.
Just like Jen, and Jen the same way. When people, most people, when they do that kind of stuff, try to keep the wraps on it, but then they want more than that outside that. She wanted fame. She wanted not just
you said Mary wanted fame.
Well, no, Mary wanted fame. So did Jen. Jen didn't want to just keep robbing these people and not letting the world know how rich she was. But they got to show their profits, right? Mary came on because I want everybody to see I'm a high roller. It wasn't good enough inside the church.
Todd says, why isn't this a bigger story? I don't know. It's huge in Utah, but they're not picking it up. I don't know. Maybe because before all but last week, the ratings were very low for Salt Lake City. Last week, they shot through the roof. So I don't know. It's going to come out eventually, Todd. What if LVP was married to her brother? What if Lisa Rinna was dating her uncle? Please get the booster shot. Oh, not the booster shot too. We're going to talk about that, Todd. We got to get the booster shot too, even if you got shots.
Yeah, I think they're saying either 6 or 8 months after your second
I got to
dose.
get another shot.
Yeah,
I guess that's what I got to do because everybody around me is getting sick, and I am not sick at all, and I'm usually sickly. But anyway, back to what we were saying. Why would these people come on TV and you've got these kind of skeletons? And she tried to lie last season. I don't know if you guys remember. She said that her grandmother wanted her to marry her grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And then this season, she had to come out and say, well, grandma wasn't really happy with me. And I had several family members come on the show and laid it all out on the line, and she still lied.
Right, but you got to take people for who they are. And this one thing you got to realize in life. A liar do one thing well, that's lie. Okay, that's the same thing when you saying, well, Jen Shaw, why she still lying? That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's how they got their hustle on.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean, I don't know. Rita says, is it a Bravo requirement that all housewives be criminals? Mary's always been strange. Just look at her. The criminal thing is right. Don't forget, we got the upcoming charges that is going to air out on the show about Mary. She's going to take in her son's girlfriend who ran away to Mary's house, and then the parents get upset, and then they go after Mary, and they charged her with something. This is all going to play out on film.
Right.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Salt Lake City is going to get good. I thought it was boring, but now that I'm talking to people and finding out what's going on, they are going to start airing this stuff about Mary and definitely about that cult. And they might get to some of those tapes we had. I had so many tapes. Somebody gave me like 6 hours of tapes of Mary and these sermons that she has. It's almost like she reminds me of Jim Jones. Do you guys know who Jim Jones is?
It's almost like a self-praising class. Like to me, it's like here she is self-praising again, and everybody else going along with it.
Yeah.
Because it's not really, in my opinion, about a higher power. It's about you praising her ass.
Mary's got some serious things going down that's getting ready to come out, and you can't lie about it. And maybe if it was one person saying you're running a cult, but 50, and people say, oh my God, you guys are bringing it all back. Because I talked to somebody one time about her putting physical hands on people. It's crazy. Good evening, Perry, Sharrell. Love you both. Thank you. And Gabor. She probably didn't see you. Okay, one more. Mary making Whitney cook her eggs was reverse racism. If needed after Rittenhouse. I mean, Mary was acting just bizarre. Very bizarre.
Hell, I mean, outside of what she doing inside the church, how the hell? I mean, did you see how she looked with the clothes she wear? Like she came out with looking like a thug with the pajamas, getting out of bed or whatever, ready for breakfast. Did y'all see that? How she looked?
Ty. Hi, Diva.
Hey, Diva. Hey,
Ty. I want to ask you a couple questions before you sound off. Now there's a rumor going around that Mary had an affair with this guy, and now she's trying to call him mentally impaired. Do you believe that this affair went down from how you feel right now, Ty?
No, I don't believe it because it was just the way that I saw like her when she first woke up, and she just looked it looked real manly-ish, like how she looked yesterday. But hey,
she had the wife beater on, everything.
If you don't believe it, Ty, why is she trying to defame the dead?
Okay. So this may sound weird, but to me, dead or alive, if you come from me, all bets are off, dead or alive.
You don't attend the church, do you?
Because at some point, no. Because at some point,
Perry, stop.
You do have to defend yourself, like. At some
why
point,
do you think she said that? Lisa tried to say this man is not mentally impaired, and Mary came back out and said, yes, he is. She's trying to make everything Cameron say to be coming from somebody that doesn't understand, that doesn't have mental capabilities.
In my defense, Lisa doesn't really have credibility either, because technically Lisa's in a cult. She's in the Mormon church. They can't do certain things. So technically,
I will say this, Ty, that the way that Heather describes the Mormon religion,
It's very
I don't
cultish.
want to, I don't know anything about the Mormon religion, only what she says about it, but it sounds cultish a little bit.
Right. Yeah, but all right, let's say this. Other people make it sound cultish. We're not gonna say it's a cult or not.
I don't know. I'm just saying I
Right.
see what Ty's talking about.
Oh, yeah, I get
It's
you.
all these crazy rules, or maybe it's just a certain sector of the Mormon religion. I don't know anything about Mormon religion. I'm just saying when you hear Heather Gay talk about it, she just says the most bizarre things that she had to believe in. And, if you smoke, I'm superior than you and all this craziness. Like, what?
But then also, though, like, and I think Meredith said it perfectly last night when she was on Watch What Happens Live, when she was asked about the mortgage thing. It honestly could have been like a donation, though. Like, we honestly like sit here and listen to. Oh, so, okay.
Let me tell you why it's not a donation. Because someone gave me evidence how it started back long ago, how Mary and Robert were not that sharp with numbers like that. So they brought in this Lois Johnson that ran a company called United Security that devised these plans to make these people their victims. They will get you to get a loan through this company, United Security. And then once you do that, they will keep the title. It sounds like a racket. And I don't think anything that specific with the names would be made up. Because if you look up Lois Johnson, she was, before they fired her, now she's down in Florida running her own business, in charge of a company called United Security. And the cult members were complaining about them not handing over the titles. That's very specific. I don't know. You need more. You think it's a lie, Ty?
I don't know. It's just like real sketchy because like I think about it. It's like, oh, church. Honestly, like I go to church, but I'm not like a real like religious person. So I think like all church are like low key like cults in a way. So I think it as it's just a regular like day-to-day church.
Here, Rita says, if Mary thought he was slow, why did she take $300,000? Diva, what did you want to talk about today?
Well, I'll start with Nene. My heart is broken for her. It's very sad. I do believe that she's probably borderline broke, if not already broke. It's very unfortunate because I didn't realize she had that many stores. And if you don't own the property in which your store is in, those rents they're high. They're ridiculous. I mean, they could go anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 a month. And that is just like one store. So if she has several stores and she didn't own the property of the store, so you got to pay that rent. Then you have to pay your people. You got to pay the gas and light. So it's a lot of money. And you remember Greg tried to tell her when he was still alive, when she was getting the sort of kind of the friend contract. Like she was getting a contract she didn't like. She was still getting the same money, but they was going to put on less episodes. Before she had the big fallout with them, he told her, just sign it. But she was stubborn. She didn't want to sign it.
Greg told Nene to take that demotion. He
To
told her
take the contract that she didn't want to take when she fell out with Bravo. Before she had that big fallout with them, he told her, just sign the contract. She didn't want to sign it. You're living in this mega mansion. You have all of these stores, and then you opened a restaurant. So, and then also she was used to Greg doing a lot of stuff for her. So it's like, when you used to your partner, the one you trust and love, helping you out with all this stuff, and now you got to do all of this on your own, it's overwhelming. Now, in terms of him having a policy, if he didn't have a policy before he got sick, then he could have got a policy while he was sick, but it would have never been for a whole lot of money to help her out, after him being born. And then also, if he didn't have health insurance
Uh-huh.
and she had to pay all of this stuff out of pocket. And so when you are doing shows like that, you know, if you work a regular job, they give you health insurance. When you working like they're working, you got to buy your own health
You're
insurance.
basically self-employed. Yeah.
Self-employed. So
Yeah.
I don't know if she had her own health insurance. And again, if he got sick and then she tried to get health insurance, forget about it. They charge you so much. They talk about these pre-existing conditions before
Let me
would
ask
give
you a
health
question,
insurance.
Diva. You're a nurse,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So if you had cancer and then you got what do you got? Sick remission. You went into remission. Is that the right way to say it?
Mm-hmm.
That means you cured, got okay, and then you got sick again. Could you get insurance when you're in?
Well, you know, the policy is straight going to say, do you have a history of cancer? Do you have heart disease? Do you have high cholesterol? So you're going to have to put on there that you have a history of cancer, even if you're in remission. So that's why I'm saying, if he didn't have this policy all along and they would continue to pay on it, that all plays into it. So I hope her house sells. I'm rooting for her. That's all I can say about Nene. Now, about this Salt Lake City, I just started getting into it because of y'all. So I'm watching the current episodes, but then I have to go back and watch like previous stuff, right? But it shocked me with this Jen Shaw. When she took that phone call, every phone call on Bravo is on speaker. That's why I was like, something suspicious with this. Every time they take a phone call, it's on speaker because Bravo wants us to hear both sides of the conversation. That particular phone call, she did not have it on speaker. She had it to her ear, and then she got up and was going out the van kind of to take the phone call in private. So I was like, something is up with that right there with that phone call. So I do believe she got a heads up because the way that phone call went down. In terms of, go ahead.
Not only did she get a heads up, the rumor is it was Sharif, her husband.
Yeah, I believe that. But she did say his name popped up. She said his name popped up.
Oh, she tried to explain that away. Wasn't that crazy?
Yes, she's trying to explain it. So if his name popped up, why isn't it on speaker? It would have been a regular phone call because you didn't know anything.
He said,
it would have been on speaker.
Correct me, guys, if I'm right. She said the name picked up, but some other person started talking.
Yep.
It's a mess.
It's a hot mess.
But wait, Sharrell, I thought they said that her aunt was the one that tipped her off because then she came to get her. And
right.
That's how
so I heard that Sharif called and that he called the family, her aunt and her uncle. This is what I've been told.
Okay. So that's
and I heard that before they even aired the season.
Right. It was shady. In terms of Mary, it's so much intertwined in this thing. It is crazy. I will say this: when people go to church and they hear whether you want to call it the pastor or whoever and speaking before them, they buy into what the person is saying and they trust them. But no church should be intertwined with the business of your mortgage and your bank account and all of that. So that right there is so shady in and of itself. Why are you all intertwined? So they was running a scheme, and could it possibly be allegedly a cult? I could lean towards that. If this Cameron did not do what they say you're alleged to have done with them, why don't you just say, well, it's not true? But instead, you want to try to tear down his character and say he was slow. So just in case somebody else collaborates the story, you can be like, he didn't know who he was talking about in the first place. I would simply say, well, that's not true, and he's not here to collaborate that, so let's move on. But you want to try to say he's slow, he's this, he's that. That's so messed up. I
don't know why I'm laughing. Ty, you know that's wrong. Diva, I want you to respond to this. Callie says, Nene and Greg were using SAG union insurance. Nene did speak about it before. So is Callie trying to say that he had insurance then?
Yeah, well, that's good to know that he had insurance, and I don't know how that insurance, is or whatever the case may be. So that would, but even though still, every insurance is different, and depending upon how much they cover of your bill, you can have an insurance policy that'll pay 90 and you only pay 10%. You'll have some insurance policies that they don't start paying until you pay a certain amount. Right. So it really depends on how this SAG is. I don't know anything about SAG and if it's a really good insurance, but every insurance company is totally different. Totally different.
And this is my opinion. I'm not sure if it's true or not. I'm not a insurance salesman or nothing. but a lot of them have caps on them too.
Yes, they do.
How much they will pay.
Yeah.
Totally, period. Once they get to that point, they're done.
Yeah.
Ty, did I give you a chance to speak on Nene?
No. But my question: Did Greg have a will though?
Oh yeah, he
Well,
had a
you
will.
know, I'm
I
sure he
remember
could have
he
had
said
one.
it.
I'm not gonna say he did or not. I don't know. But
He said it.
even that though, sometimes
I was gonna
still
say
not enough.
because I was gonna
I
say
mean, if
because
it's not
at that
accustomed to your
point-
lifestyle, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say at that point because Greg has a boatload of kids, so not only does you got to spend that money with Nene and Brent, you got to spend the money with the other kids too. So maybe once it finally got down to her, maybe it just wasn't enough.
Oh, I can't even.
But how
Catherine
much
says,
money did Greg have?
That's another question.
I'm thinking they lived off of Nene's income.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Right.
Catherine says, if male pastors are having an affair with parishioners, why can't female pastors do the same? I believe the affair. I don't know. I just do.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, females are always going to be judged differently anyway. That's how society is. I'm not saying it's right, but that's how it is. I mean, if you're a female, then you're a whore. If you're a guy, you okay.
Angie says, I just hope Nene is not underwater with the mortgage. That's another problem on the home she is selling. Well, I do know she dropped the price. That would leave her in an even worse position. I feel bad for Nene. I hope this isn't true, but just in case it is true, guys, let's just say a little prayer for Nene.
Right.
Because it sounds bad. Let me take another call. Hey, Lola.
Hey, Lola.
What's up,
Hey,
Lola?
y'all. What's up? How y'all doing?
What you want to sound off on
Yeah.
first? Because these two stories are crazy.
I want to talk about Nene only because I am in investment property. I've bought some recently, actually. Okay, the fact that she's selling her house at a loss says a lot. She may be strapped for cash only because there's a bidding war going on houses.
Yeah.
Granted,
Yeah.
I'm not in a
You're
mansion.
right. And they're selling like hotcakes.
Yes. So I can tell you a quick story. I have a friend, they moved to Washington, Seattle for, he got a job as a computer engineer. His house, the bidding war started at 600,000. They ended up paying right over $1 million for the home in Seattle proper.
So Perry
crazy.
flips houses. And I thought
Okay.
it was just here in Vegas. We would go to a house, they would list that house, we would go within 15 minutes to a half hour, and there would be a line. They're going that fast.
Yeah, you should not buy a property right now. The only reason I bought one is because one of my friends is a top real estate, and she let me know about a house before they even put it right on the market, and I made an offer right away. So if not, I would have gotten into a bidding war. This is not the time to buy a home. Now, granted, she lives in a mansion, correct? They own a mansion, her and Greg. So I don't know how it is with mansions but I understand that Atlanta tends to be a lot more affordable than most other states.
I don't know. Atlanta's kind of going up. Wouldn't you say?
No, I'm saying like if you're I'm talking about like if you're in the market to buy a mansion, it's a lot cheaper to get a mansion in Atlanta than it is in California. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We're talking about a separate form.
Right. I get you.
Yeah. And then I wanted to sound off regarding Mary. I think it says a lot about a preacher if they're willing to speak ill of the dead.
Yes.
I think that speaks volumes. I never liked Mary. She gives me bad vibes. The fact that this guy sold his house in order to give you $300,000 for me, I mean, my conscience immediately, I would be like, where did you get this money from? I mean, we all know people, right? You don't even know somebody exactly how much they make in order to know if they're doing well or okay. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if you know that this guy works for the bus, drives the bus around town, where's he getting $300,000 from? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially because they had a close rapport, correct? They were friends at one point. So if he had showed up to me with $300,000, I'd be like, where'd you get this? And in good conscience, I would not be able to accept that donation if you don't got it like that. Do you understand you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not like this guy's a multi-millionaire.
Right.
So I think Meredith's example was not correct because the guy who donated $1 million, he was rich, and they let us know. I know in the show they kind of let us know what he did a little bit. The guy that donated $1 million at what was it, Lisa's party, or was the one friend's party earlier in the season, the charitable rally that we're having? That guy was rich. So
well, since you guys have been talking, I went and pulled up Nene's home.
Right.
Said that she bought the home for, let me get that right, 2.1 million.
Okay. How much is selling for it?
She dropped the price to okay, so it was 2.1. She was selling it for 4 million. She dropped it to 3.8, and now she's dropped it to 3.4.
I mean,
she's still making a profit, huh?
Right.
She's making money. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe she's not. I don't know. I hope she's not broke.
Well, no, I mean, okay. Now, the meaning broke don't mean you financially doomed. Like,
right? Yeah.
You out on some corner.
What does
your
it mean?
lifestyle, the way you knew it, has changed.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Do you guys think that the fact that she burnt her bridges with Bravo,
that's a beautiful home, isn't it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mansion. That is not a home. That's a mansion.
That's what I said. Do you think that she's planning for the
now?
future? Do you think she's planning for the future because she's burned her bridges with Bravo and she knows it's going to be harder for her to get any work on television?
I don't know. What were you going to say, Ty?
So I just had this thought, right? Do you think that maybe the house also isn't selling because didn't they say that Greg actually died in the house? Like, do you think that could be a factor?
Listen, I don't care who died in that house. It could be a full-on massacre. If I had the money to get it, I would get it because you could print up.
No, but maybe it's hurtful for her because Greg died there. Like maybe you, because you didn't know then, you don't mind buying it. But maybe for her, it's painful. Maybe the memory.
Hi, Freddie.
I don't really think it hurt the sale of the house, though. I get what you're saying, Ty. It's like if it was a family member, somebody close to you, you might not want to buy it just for that reason. But you know what? People don't normally list that somebody died in the house.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. So the house we live in there now, somebody could have died in. You just don't. It's not that factor.
Hi, Freddie. What did you want to sound off on today?
Where do you want me to start? Because I've actually got tea on both the Atlanta stuff and the Salt Lake.
Start with Nene.
Okay, so starting with Nene. So there's a rumor that Greg. So it says that Greg's worth $4 million, Nene's worth 14. I've heard that actually they're actually combined together worth $14 million.
That's what I heard.
I heard that Nene actually allegedly took out a lot of loans to subsidize her businesses, and that she basically hemorrhaged supposedly through their net worth to be able to fund this vanity project. I mean, even big designers. I mean, Victoria Beckham, for example, people look at them and think, oh, the Beckhams are rich, but even Victoria Beckham's business is, filing losses of £7.5 million a year. And that's not alleged. That's on the Britain's company house. It's available publicly. So I think she could be in financial problems. And also, where's that alleged boyfriend she had, Rodney White? Where's he gone hiding? Why is
That's funny.
Freddie, you are messy. I remember that.
And the thing is that she's seen to more or less confirm it, because she was like, yeah, you're all getting up in my business about this. She didn't seem to deny it when that came out. So that was very interesting. Yeah. I do think Nene could be selling the home because there are financial issues. And also the other thing I've heard is that whilst Nene might have 3.9 million followers on Instagram, it's being alleged that the endorsement Instagram work she's getting has dried up a bit because she's not on TV anymore. People don't have as much of an interest to work with her compared to other housewives.
Someone said, Freddie, you came with guns blazing.
You did.
I didn't mean to.
Also, what Perry said, maybe when they mean broke, it's not regular people broke. It's like she's downsizing her lifestyle. Do you think that could be what they mean by that?
I think partly, yeah. I think there could be some loans to pay off. But yeah, I think maybe moving into a $500,000 condo might be,
oh no, Nene.
A bit of a change, but I think if she sort of tries to make amends with other things and stuff, then maybe she can make it back again. You can never say never with these things.
What do you
And
have
you
to say
did.
about Cuckoo Mary?
Oh my gosh, that picture was so funny. I mean, look at her freaky psycho eyes. I mean, they freak me out. And she gets scared of black people at 7-Eleven. I'd be scared of seeing her freaky psycho eyes in the 7-Eleven. Let me just, and that's not because she's black. That's because her eyes are like an alien's.
No, but she says she
True.
gets scared of black people at 7-Eleven.
I'd be scared of her alien being, so, you know. So what did I hear about Mary? Well, interestingly, when I was a panelist on Sharrell's World, I had people message me about, Mary, and allegedly Rosemary also considered herself as God. Now,
The mom? The grandma?
The grandma, yes.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to say allegedly. Now, if you notice in season 1 of Salt Lake City, when Mary shows the church for the first time, we see that picture of
her and Jesus,
on the cloud.
Yep.
And that the real image of that is meant to be of God sitting on that cloud.
Yeah. I know what picture you're talking about. Let's see if I can pull it up.
You can. I seen that picture always like felt weird to me. But I thought it was just like, you know how when someone passes away, they do those memory pictures for the funeral?
Yeah,
I thought that's what it was. That's what I thought it was. But now that you say it like that, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, no, it's weird.
It is weird.
I can't find that picture to save my life.
Well,
I know
we'll
exactly what picture
we'll
you're
have to do it
talking about.
another time. We'll have to do it another time.
Okay.
But maybe Mary could argue that's why she's got freaky eyes, because she's being possessed by God. I don't know. But moving on, I've also heard these rumors about the whole how she got people to sign these loans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you?
I've heard a lot about that over the years. I haven't got evidence of it, so that's why I'm saying it's alleged, but I am digging for that evidence because I'm coming to you, Mary.
It's the craziest thing.
It is the craziest thing. Now, the other thing is with Lisa Barlow, again, what I've heard with that is there were bits she knew about the filming, but as the season was going on, Cameron was sort of relaying more and more information. And apparently a month before he died, he did tell Lisa the truth that he did have an affair with Mary.
Wow.
I knew it. What I don't know was, were they filming when Cameron Williams sadly passed away, or was it after they finished filming?
Let me ask you this, Freddie. If you were put in Lisa Barlow's position and you knew that he had an affair, since Cameron has passed on, would you divulge that information?
That's a good question.
I think in the reunion, I think Lisa is, as we've seen, before this Jen Shah arrest, let's be honest, Lisa Barlow's been the only one, quite frankly, bringing that drama. She's been the only one stirring the stuff up. I think she is in the reunion and probably next season going to be asking questions, as we've seen on Twitter. She's come out, she said it was disgusting how Mary, and I think Meredith actually, if I'm not wrong, sort of implied that Cameron was somewhat slow in the last episode. Lisa Barlow, that was disgusting.
It was disgusting.
And Mary replied to Lisa Barlow's tweet and said on the lines of, like, stop lying, Lisa, like, it's true.
Wow. I just wanted to show the audience a picture of Grandma, just in case they never seen Mama. They called her Mama. This is Mary's mother.
Yeah.
She loves hats. This is not
grandmother or mother.
This is Mary's grandmother.
Okay.
Mary's mother's name is Rosalind.
Okay.
That's a whole nother story. I don't even have time to get into that. Like, it's crazy. But this is her mother, and she was married to Robert Sr. And then, and she had a fit. The truth is coming out now. Mary lied last season. She was very upset when she found out that Robert was sleeping with her daughter, her granddaughter.
Yeah.
Sharrell, can I say
who wouldn't be?
Go ahead, Ty. You said something?
Can I say the only reason why I don't think Lisa's going to say anything at the reunion, because last night was a point where, if I don't know if you remember when her and Meredith were sitting outside right before they went shopping, and they were talking about it, and Meredith said, "Oh, well, I'm going to bring this up to Mary. I think Mary should know." And Lisa gave the, "Oh, well, I've kept your secret, so I think it should be that we keep Cameron out of this too." So I don't really think she'll bring up that at the reunion, just because mainly now it's fact because he's deceased.
Right. That's the hard part.
But there are a lot of things that Lisa didn't necessarily know that when that was being filmed, you know, allegedly Cameron Williams was telling her lots of different stuff before he died and as this season was filming. So it's very hard to know, in my opinion, what Lisa could do.
Someone from the church told me that they were definitely having an affair and everybody knew it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was getting out. And not only that, Cameron's married with children.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, Grandpa was never going to satisfy Mary, was he?
No.
Was he?
No.
Come on, Grandpa. Let's get up off the floor. Come on. Can we stretch? Can we make it onto that Zimmer frame? Let's get to Mary.
So I'm being told that this season they're going to show bits and pieces of Jen Shaw, but as time goes on, the majority of the storyline is going to focus on
Mary.
Mary. Yeah.
Canelo,
let's see what Canelo says.
Do you guys think that she is just as criminal as Jen Shaw?
Wait, I'm hearing an echo. Is that you, Canelo?
Canelo. You come in every day like that.
Okay.
Do you think that Mary is just as much as a criminal as Jen Shaw if the mortgage fraud is true?
Mary's a worse criminal. And let me tell you why I think she's the worst criminal.
Oh, come on.
She screwed her family out of money.
True.
Okay? She has a record. Mary actually stole $60,000 from a drug dealer. This was like maybe 2 decades ago. I'm not making it up. I know you like her. She's sweet now. People change after time. She even said it herself, or maybe I got this from another church member too, is that before she went after Grandpa, she had a husband and his name was Dana. So, and she really cheated on her husband with Robert. And before that, she went after football players on what team was it? On a football team, a professional football team. They played for the Jazz, but I can't remember what his name is.
And she went after Cameron.
And then she allegedly had an affair with Cameron.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosalind. I appreciate it. That's really weird because that's Mary's mother's name. You're not the mom, are you?
No.
Ty, what do you think about all this? You think this is about a lot of fluff and that Mary is not as people portray her to be? Ty?
Oh, he on mute.
Ty, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Say it again. I wasn't even listening.
I said, what do you think about all this? You are a fan of Mary's and you think that she's getting railroaded here?
I just think that's kind of like, I just think that like we're thinking about it like differently. Like we're just jumping straight to Mary. Like Jen Shaw didn't just commit fraud to old people. Like we just gonna skip past that.
You think we should slow our roll?
So because I think we should. I think and I think she said perfectly next week. She said perfectly next week. The FBI in
picture.
I think she said you got to drop by sometime.
Well,
I mean, what do you just think about what Ty is saying? He's saying we're just eating all this gossip up. That's what he's saying.
Well, you know what though? Not to tell Ty this though, right? We watch reality TV for something going on every week. Jen Shaw is not forgotten. It's just a dry period right now. We can go on to the next one.
Because
we got to have something to talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jen stuff ended. It's still going on, but it ended last week and kind of this week. Mary's about to come out now, so they're giving us 2 storylines with 2 headliners. Because if you don't already know, look at how Mary is moving. Mary is sitting up here thinking she got a God complex. They're calling her God.
You're calling her
You cannot forget what she did to her parishioners was it this year when she came out and said they were homeless,
that was last
ghetto.
year.
And
wow.
and she was saying that they didn't give her what she thought she deserved. So this is what she did. So she go on social media and does this. Then she turns around, comes on this second episode. The guy was praying. She tell him that's not how you pray, and was giving him a prayer to say. Now, don't forget about Cameron. Cameron basically came out and told the truth, because when you're in a cult, everybody kind of knows this. Not too many people, but when you're in a cult, they can manipulate you to do anything.
To give over your mortgage and
yes,
I'm not giving you nothing.
Some of them, I mean,
Sharrell. Because it's always said. Because if you remember, look how Jim Jones, had all them people.
Exactly.
I'm trying to tell you, Canelo. If Jim Jones told me to drink the Kool-Aid, you go first.
I mean, what we saying though? I mean, you don't have that. You don't have. You said, how can somebody forfeit their money? Why would somebody do that? How can you stand in a long line and watch a person take a sip of this, pass out, take a sip, pass out, and you keep going forward? Then you get the people that what I can't remember what thing it was, where the people all was laying in these bunk bed with Nikes. Oh.
And can I just
let me ask Canelo a quick question? Sorry, Freddie, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to quickly say about the Mary thing, that a lot of people that sort of messaged you about the whole alleged cult thing. Also
do you remember that last year? It was crazy.
Yeah, a lot. I remember that you said that a lot of people messaged to say that Mary also emotionally blackmailed people.
Yeah.
For not giving certain amounts of money, or even if they left, she would hex them. She would try and find ways to get money out of them, and she would just emotionally blackmail them and try to emotionally destroy them.
Let me ask you, Ty, did you see my interviews I did last year with Mary's brother and her cousin? Her mother's son. Did you see? What would that be to Mary? That's her brother. Did you see the interview I did with Mary's uncle and Mary's brother?
Yeah, I saw those.
Do you think they were lying?
I don't know. I just think it's weird. When I just got this big thing about family that comes out after, someone gets on TV and gets famous, and they're cut out of the family, then all of a sudden they have a vendetta. I don't know. It's just weird.
Ty, I'm going to break your heart even more, because I have a source, a friend of mine that is very close to Mary's family. Everything that the uncle and the cousin had came out and said, she told me this before the story even broke. Before they even did a show with Sharrell, she told me word by word everything that they said when they came on here with Sharrell. So I'm telling you, Mama already started that cult way before Mary took it over. Robert was already there keeping it going. Mary just hopped her little ass in there just to make sure she can get the money and keep it going. And that's how it's been. I'm telling you, Mary is low down dirty. She does not need to come back. She's a narcissistic itch. I'm going to keep it nice.
Ooh, wow.
She kind of tells on herself, though, because who complains about gifts, again, that somebody gives you like it wasn't enough? She tells on herself in a lot of ways. She has a track record that makes what people are saying believable. Yeah, who says that? Especially, you're the woman of God, and you saying that what somebody gave you wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear from Julian.
Comes back to where Canelo talks.
Homeless, ratchet, and she deserved more from them.
Let's hear from Julian. Julian, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I don't watch Salt Lake City, so I mean, everything you guys are saying, I'm like, what in the world is this?
You're missing out. I'm telling you.
I've been keeping up with the Jen Shaw stuff, but this other stuff, I have no clue. But I just agree with what you said earlier about why is it all these people keep ending up on these reality TV shows? These people, what happens the old days where it was people who at least had some sort of real stuff going on. It wasn't all fabricated storylines.
I mean, how did we end up with all these liars? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know what keeps happening. I mean, I guess the snowball started rolling with Teresa's husband, and you got Tom and Erica, and now you've got Jen Shaw, and there's so many people, and it's wow, pretty soon in Dubai, we're gonna find some massive wealthy criminal over there too. And I'm just like, wow,
I can't wait for that one.
Keeps happening.
You know what I think is happening, Sharrell? I think as they expand to the different cities, I think when they first started, they really wanted to show us like the uber rich who live behind the gates. But as they start expanding to these cities, the people that really have that type of cash, they don't want to do it. So they take whoever they can get, whoever comes for the interview, they say, all right, you know what, we needed 5 people, we got these 5, let's roll with it. And they could care less if they telling the truth, if they really have that type of money, or if they're making up the story. I think that's what's going on.
And let me tell you why I agree with you. Today I was talking to somebody, and they were telling me that when Candace's mother first came up, when Candace tried to get on the show, it was her mother that put her and Chris up in that townhome. They didn't live there. That was all for the show. And to create a lifestyle.
It was an investment property of Dot's.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. He said that.
And that they gave Chris a job calling him a restaurant owner, so he could fit the profile. And also, like when Nene first came on, she didn't own those homes. Remember? They were all rented.
Right.
I hear that Gretchen Rossi didn't even live there. She just rented it for filming. So I think that if you could put on a good enough act, no, Kim Zolciak, that house was given to her from her laying on her back. That sounds really weird what I just said.
From
laying on her back.
Is that true?
But I think that's what they said about Jen Shaw last season, right?
Yeah.
That the house that they rented isn't really her house.
And then guess what someone else told me? At the time when Kim and Nene got cast for the film, for the role or for the show, they weren't even speaking to each other.
Oh yeah, I read that in the book.
That they were on bad terms. Well, then it might have been you who told me that. Yeah. Someone said they weren't even speaking.
They made up when they started the show. They knew each other, but again, when they was looking for castmates, Nene said to the producers. So they usually, when they have the first person that they're going to cast for whatever city, then they use that person because they always want friends, right? Because that's going to make for a better show. So they use that person to help them get other people. And so when they needed one more person, Nene said, well, if you want that chick, she's over there. They was in a restaurant at the time, and it was Kim. And Sheree said that her and Kim wasn't even speaking at the time because what Nene did was she went behind Kim's back. There was an original Big Papa, and then there was the new Big Papa, right? So there were 2 Big Papas. So the original one kicked Kim out. The original Big Papa, he kicked Kim out, and Nene was doing real estate at the time. So she went behind Kim's back to, go get the property from Big Papa and to sell it, right? And so Andy and them did meet the Big Papa that they was talking about on the show, and Andy, he's so shady. He said it was a big disappointment because he was a little guy.
You're talking about, what's his name, Lee? What's his name, Lee?
I don't remember what his name was, and I gotta finish reading it. But the book tells you all of that they wasn't even that tight. And then they became tighter, and then they fell out again. So yeah.
So there you go, Julian. The reason Bravo keeps hiring criminals because no real socialite wants to do it.
Well, and you know what else? It's because you end up. This is how I know that what you're saying is true. Because we would never have had someone like Drew on the show before, or someone like Teddy and stuff, where everything they come up with, like Drew's whole storyline about her husband went to Florida for 3 days and they dragged that thing, they beat that dead horse over and over and stuff like that. Because before, and like say like season 1 through 6 or 7 of Atlanta, right? All they really had in terms of connection with the public was like meet and greets and Twitter. Now with Instagram,
that is so true.
Like there's so much more. They pay so much more attention to the public, and they're so in tune with it, and they'll respond to people's comments. It's like before, people did the show just to do the show and respond to and to showcase what they're getting paid to showcase, which is their life. But now it's like they want to chase after being everyone's favorite and being the most popular, and it's gotten really fake in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if anyone on the panel agrees with me. I enjoy them bringing on criminals so I could kind of figure out what part I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, if they brought
the
up
criminals are better. I would just say that.
If they brought up real rich people, right? These are people
I wouldn't like the show. I wouldn't watch.
Yeah, me either.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold
Bringing on
on,
criminals is funny.
I had the best
Hold on,
time
Sharrell,
this year with Erica Jane and her revolving stories. It
Me
was
too.
so fun.
I enjoyed her
I like
calling
when they
me
bring
out.
up-
Yeah,
I like when they
she was
bring up
so mad at
criminals and
Teddy
good people.
and Freddie. What was the original thing?
Because I called her Cruella de Vil, and
That's
then she
right.
put it on her Instagram
Yeah.
story. But I'm coming for you still, Erica. This isn't over.
Oh my goodness.
All right, you guys. I
Sharrell,
got to
what
end
would
it
you-
here, especially since I went so long on my first video. I don't want to tire my mods out. Freddie, we will see you next video. You are bringing the tea. Okay.
I mean, but can I just add one last thing? Is I think Andy also really doesn't want to be bringing on rich people. Somewhere like Dubai, which is a tax haven, most people there are rich, so they can't sort of not get rich people on that show. But with all these American shows, they're wanting more criminal types, drama type of thing. But I think we do need rich people, and this is why New York has suffered, as we aren't seeing that wealth.
Freddie, can I ask you a question? Do you watch Australia? How does Australia compare to the United States housewives? Because I heard they're messy over there.
Yeah, well, I've seen Melbourne and Sydney, but in the UK we also have housewives. So we've got the Real Housewives of Cheshire, and we've got the Real Housewives of Jersey, not New Jersey. It's Jersey, which is a Channel Island.
Oh wow.
Real Housewives of Cheshire used to be. It's not that good anymore. It was, but I think the American one is better. I've got to be honest. The American ones are better.
Well, you're right. You know why? Because before, if you look at the early seasons of Beverly Hills, and this is why I think you're right, because people like Yolanda, people like Adrian and Vanderpump, they wouldn't they wouldn't roll in the mud with people like Brandy and people like Renna and stuff, you know? And I feel like the network, they don't want people that will flat out quit if they get pushed too hard, like Adrian or, you know, Yolanda, and that'll refuse. They want people like Brandy and Renna who are kind of desperate to stay on. And so that's why they, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Broke people.
We want broke people and criminals. Do you know how much fun I have every week getting the rag on Chris Bassett?
I think Perry enjoys calling Chris Basket broke.
And Sharrell, I came in too late earlier, so I'll hold it for next week. But y'all put Wendy on life support, and I want to take her off. Y'all did her dirty.
She flatlined. She flatlined tonight.
Wendy is gone.
I want Papa Jess and bring her back to life.
Wendy wasting her time and her money.
Also, listen, I don't really care about any housewife. It's where I find the jokes. And when Andy was pissed at her, so she had to take it. It's so funny.
I said they're killing her.
I should have called.
You should have stayed there. She should have never came back.
Late. I came in towards the end. And all I have to say about Chris, right? And Chris was the only husband on the other side of that couch.
Wore their pre-pants.
And then they had to strategically
Julian,
they had to strategically place him so he wasn't even really near Candace. He was more near Robin. I said, this is a mess. Nobody on that side of the couch man showed up.
I thought they shrunk his clothes in the wash on purpose.
At least her man came.
And Michael were off on a sunset cruise getting their stuff on. That's why
they got reunion-itis. They got reunion-itis. They're never going to show up for none of reunion again.
That's exactly what they were.
All right, guys, I got to end it here. You guys are calling me out on my dirt, and I don't like it. Thank you guys for calling in. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Later. I got to go. I got to eat now.
Okay.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so I have to end it here. That was a really good show tonight, wasn't it? That was good. All right, you guys, I wanted to thank you for your super chats. You don't have to support the channel, and you do. If I didn't get a chance to get to you backstage, I do apologize. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Chats, thank you guys so much. This was a long day for us. We did 2 stories back to back, both over an hour. That's long. You guys are teasing Chris.
Knickerbockers.
All right, you guys. On 3, let's say bye. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.